And I kind of look at the etymology too.
All right, Con, for sure. All right, we live. All right, Con. Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom to the Torah, Shaz, Yasha, Allah. Giving the course, all honor, glory, and praise unto the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, this is brother Yasha Allah.
It is brother Sirek.
Con, coming back to y'all yet another video through the spirit and power, Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Mashak, Wamalaki, Yahweh Shah. All right,
Oh,
so this is of course a Friday night, fire Friday night video, Sabbath service through the spirit. It's W5 Bay Area. And we were going into right now in this video that look, you're not a Christian. And this video is really directed to people that call themselves Christians and that believe in Christianity. All right. What we say over here through the spirit and that through the precepts, Christianity, the doctrine of Christianity is not found in the Bible. And that most Christians that call themselves Christians are actually not Christians according to the true definition of what a Christian is and what a Christian actually does, right? And lives by through the spirit. So we're going to kick it off, right, with the etymology of the word Christian, right? Actually, before we get there, we're going to show you Christian in the Bible, right? I'm going to show you that precept. Israelites are like, look, we're not Christians. Technically, we are, right? Technically, we are, according to the precepts, right? But we don't want to associate ourselves with that name because that name has been tainted over the years. All right, you have thoughts. All right, what you gonna call it like that? You have thoughts. All right, inappropriate dancers, if you will, that are Christians. You have robbers that are Christians. You have killers that are Christians. Okay, everybody's a damn Christian. All right, whether he's doing wickedness, whether he's doing evil. That's why we don't like to call ourselves Christians. But technically, according to the true definition of what a Christian is, the etymology, and according to the precepts, Hebrew Israelites will be the closest things to a Christian through the Spirit, right? Because hey, we follow in Christ. I'm about to get that. But let's go to the book of right. Let's go to the book of um. I want to get this one right. First Peter, right? I'm going to show you that. First Peter chapter 3, right, and verse number 4, or so like it. First Peter chapter 4 and verse number 16. Right, let's go to First Peter chapter 4, verse 16. Right, it says, "Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf." And actually, Slack, I'm gonna share my screen. Right, I'm gonna share my screen. Right. So let's go to right. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. So let's go to First Peter chapter 4 and verse 18 again. Right. It says what? It says, looks lucky. Verse 16, right? It says, if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf. So yes, you do have Christians, right? Christians, that word is in the Bible. All right, but we're going to see what it means through the Spirit. All right, we're going to see what it means. So when you go to the etymology of the word Christian, right? Etymology of Christian, right? The word. Let's see what it means, right? For the etymon .com, it says Christian as the adjective to describe something. 1520s as a noun, a believer, or a noun and an adjective, but it says adjective slacky. A believer in and follower of Christ. So a believer in and follower of Christ. All right. In the 1550s, as an adjective, professing the Christian religion, received into the Christian church. All right, so we see this from the 1500s. It says from a West Germanic borrowing of church Latin Christianus, from ecclesiastical Greek Christanos, from Christos, which is Christ, which means Christ means anointed one. All right. This says meaning having the manner and spiritual character proper to a follower of Christ. All right. It's from 1590s, continuing a sense in the Middle English word. All right. So again, the word means a believer and follower of Christ. In the Strong's, it will also tell you that too, and also pulls the scripture where Christian is actually mentioned, right? And I'm gonna pass it to the brother after this. In Acts 11 and verse 26, it says, "And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch, and it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves to the church and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch." So that's the first encounter of that word. in the Bible, you see that the Israelites, the disciples, all right, because these are disciples of the Most High, disciples of Yahawah, and these were Israelites. So they were called Christians first in Antioch. All right. So the first Christians, all right, this is widely known. The first Christians were Israelites. All right. Let's just establish that. But
Kind
you got it, King.
now, kind of like the brother was saying, the first Christians, was an Israelite. All right, so now they kind of made this into what is a religion now, which the Most High has never ordained us to have a religion. Because everything of this Bible is it's a heritage. Let me get that. This is Sirach chapter 17 and 11. It says, beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. So literally, these new age Christians is now turning this into a religion. You know, because like the brother said, Christians, we will be considered as Christians as a derogatory term, but now a now they have flipped it and tainted it, and now Christians, when you think about it, you think about the religion set of Christianity. When you think about it and you think about all the looting, the robbery, the pastor pork chops, sister lady pants, and you think about things like that. When you think about what the Most High gave us, like I said in Sirach 17 and 11, this is a heritage according to the Most High. And in all reality, like the brother said, we follow Christ more than anybody. Let's get this in First Peter chapter 2 and 21. Get it. It's First Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. It says, for even hereunto we were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye shall follow his footsteps. So literally the whole Bible is for the Israelites as a heritage, as a wisdom mechanism, and also being Christians in quotations. I'm going to use that very carefully, and we're gonna follow the Most High. We're gonna follow Christ, a Mashiach, because we're the real Christians. We're gonna follow him to the T, to the best of our ability. Khan, you got a king.
Yeah, Khan, and that's exactly right, brother. When you read this, right, it says, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example. So Yahweh Shah was like that prime example, right?
Khan.
Now, even when, because I relate a lot of things to school, right? If you were sitting up in a math class and then the teacher, right, is trying to teach a certain subject, and then he or she puts a math example, right? An example, you know what I'm saying? Like an example of like the question, right? The math question on the board, and then she works it out, and it's that perfect example, right? It shows you all the steps, you know what I'm saying, that you have to take in order to get to the answer of the math question, right? So it's not going to be, so when you look at your paper, it may not be the same questions, right, that she's putting on the board. It's an example. So then you go ahead, you look at that example, then you go ahead and solve your own problems, right?
Khan.
With your paper. So everybody's gone through that. You know what I'm saying? We all know that and understand that. So with the scriptures, is the same thing in this walk. Yahweh Shah is that prime example. He showed us how to do it. Like he's that top example. You know what I'm saying? So we had to look at him and be like, damn. So Yahweh Shah, when he was tempted, what did he do? Right? You know what I'm saying? When Yahweh Shah was encountering this person, what did he say? Right? When a lot of times, you even have that question posed to people, right? As kind of like, well, Christians kind of say this, right? But they say, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus say? What would Jesus do?
Yeah,
Right?
WWJD.
Oh, you said what?
WWJD.
Yeah. Hey, I don't even. Well, hey,
Hey,
what's
what
that?
would Jesus do?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Khan. See that? I even know that they had an abbreviation for it. You see
Hey,
that?
Khan.
Yeah, Khan. So what would Jesus do? Right? Because why are we always referring to Christ? Because that's our Messiah. That's Yahweh Shah. That's the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the person that we have to be following. And he's that prime example. So Peter's teaching that, look, Yahweh Shah's life was an example that ye should follow his steps. Following his steps. What does it mean to follow somebody's steps? It's meaning You're doing everything that they're doing. You're saying everything that they're saying. Yahawashi, he jumps, we jump. Yahawashi goes under here, we go under there. So it's like we're following his steps, meaning we're doing everything that he's doing, right? That's essentially what that means, following his steps, right? Now, Christians would agree to this. Most Christians, I would say, would agree to that scripture when we're in our breakdown of that scripture. But the thing is, in verse 22, the reason why we're saying to Christians, look, are you sure you really follow Christ? Because when we look at the precepts, right? Christians don't do a lot of things that Christ said to do and that did, right? Let's go to verse 22 because it says, who did no sin. Hold up now. Christians profess that they sin daily and that they love sinning and that the and that sinning, that you shouldn't take the grace of God in vain, and nobody's perfect and we shouldn't have to keep the law. That's what they say. They
Oh,
teach men to break the commandments, right?
uh,
But did Christ do that? No, Christ said Christ did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. So that means if we have to follow in the footsteps of Christ, that means we have to limit as much sin as possible in order to walk in his steps, right? Um, Khan, you got a precept out?
yeah, I got two presets.
All right, Khan, you got it.
Hey, kind of like the brother said, hey, he's our footstool, like he's our template, and we look at him, and that's why the scriptures, the Most High, he laid it out for us and gave us a book so we could read, expound on it. And it's a classic precept. This is Psalms 119 and verse 99. I have more understanding than all my teachers. Literally the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelations. These certain men are teachers. Yahawashi is our perfect teacher. He says,
Yep.
"For thy testimonies are our meditation." So literally, when Satan had grabbed spiritual demon Satan had grabbed Yahawashi up and took it to the mount and showed him all the cities, and he said, "I grant you anything." You know, now if that happened to you, what would you do? And we looked at that righteous example as a Mashiach, and we got to meditate on those precepts all the day long, and like the brother said, it's also a classic too. A Christianity are Christians, so-called. I would say New Age Christians. This what they don't read. This is literally out of Christ's mouth. This is a classic as well. This is Matthew, chapter 5, and uh let's get it 19 gets to the point. It says, "Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men also," and that's literally the Christianity church. Hey, they
Uh,
teach men, not to keep the Sabbath. Hey, come on Sunday. Hey, you could eat pork. Hey, I'm the pastor, but I'm gonna sleep with your wife. I'm gonna sleep with your wife, and I'm gonna collect tithing. But the law is done waive, but I'm gonna collect tithing still, so you can put money in my pocket. Oh, I need a jet. Hey, donate. Get grandma to donate her what they get, they old pension, the I forget what elderly people be getting, but they be having that elderly pension they be having, and they spending that all on pastor. It says, "And shall teach men also, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven." So if you're teaching a man not to keep the commandments, and you're gonna be least in the kingdom. And if you are, you're gonna be on top of the world in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, Con, you got a king. And one more thing. Hey, so that's how you know. Hey, these Christians. Hey, they not real. They not real Christians. The
mhm.
New Age Christians are not real Christians because literally you got to follow Mashiach to the T, and they don't
Mhm.
do that. Con, you got a king.
Yeah, Khan, that's right. That's exactly right. And though they might profess that, oh no, 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 we're not saying that. Of course, we say you have to follow Christ to the T. Look, all that talking is cool, but if you can't show me that, don't even say it, bro. We have nothing to talk about, bro. Because the Lord said, let me get this quick preset, man. I'm not gonna pull it up, but it's because it's a quick one, but it's a good preset, right? This is First John chapter 3 and verse number 18. It says, "My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. So don't you got to demonstrate it, right? You have to demonstrate it. So it's through our actions, right? Through our words, etc., our conversation, as the scripture says, which shows us, right, if we're actually following Christ or not, right? Because Christ wasn't always just about this, right? He was actually about showing it too. Because, right, we're going to go to a precept to we're going to go to a precept real quick, right? That Christians run from, right? So when we say, "Oh, you got to keep the law," they always say, "Nobody's perfect." So you mean to tell me you never sinned, bro? Hey, who's saying that, man? Right?
God.
Hey, Cyrus, are you saying that?
Hey, lie.
Like, ah, man, we're not saying
Lie.
that. Right? Hey, come on, come on. The Lord said, if you say that you have no sin, you're a liar, man.
Lie.
Right? So, but we're going to go to the free set, right? Let's go to Matthew 5:48. It says, "Be therefore perfect." So when we ask Christians, "Can you be perfect?" They say no. Then we go to this precept and they say, "Well, I mean, we can strive for it." So you mean to tell me Christ is going to give you a commandment that can never be attained, that can never, you know what I'm saying? Like he's just going to say, "Be perfect," but you can't do that. So if nobody can do it, nobody's going to make it to the kingdom, basically, because Christ is giving you a commandment that cannot be broken. Now, with that in mind, being perfect doesn't necessarily mean you were just without sin, right? You're just without sin. Nah, it's not like that. You're striving for it by keeping the commandments, right? And also mixing those commandments with the faith. Because in James chapter 2, verse 22, it says that what? That through faith, right? Or it's like that through works, faith is made perfect, right? Because a lot of Christians, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give them this. You go to Romans chapter 10 and verses 1 through 3 on down, they have the zeal of God, but just not
God.
according to knowledge.
God.
So you have a lot of our people, they think that they're really following Christ, but they're not doing what Christ said to do, or they're not doing as Christ did. For example, you have Christians. I know a Christian, he's zealous, right, for the Most High. He has a zeal for the Most High. It's just not according to knowledge. But this brother, he has a zeal for the Most High, but he doesn't have any fringes on. Guess what? Christ wore fringes, right? We can also get that as well. But it says, "Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." You see that? So the Lord said, "Look, you got to be perfect. You got to strive for that perfection every day." Are Christians doing this? I don't know, right? I don't know if they're doing that, right? Because they always have that defeatist mentality. Well, nobody can keep the whole law. Nobody can keep the law, so why even try? That's their mentality, man. Or they
God.
might say, "Oh, you just got to keep the Ten Commandments."
Hey,
Right?
God.
I mean, where is that at? Where the Lord said, "Okay, all the other commandments you don't have to keep them. Just try to keep the 10." And a lot of Christians don't even keep the whole 10. You
God.
know,
Bring that
because
up.
if you believe, yeah, come on. If you believe in the Trinity, first of all, that's idolatry. So you're not keeping the first commandment, first of all, right? A lot of you Catholics, right, worship Mary and all these other idols. So that's the second commandment. You breaking that, right? And by you teaching men to break the commandments, you breaking the third commandment because the Lord said, "Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain," right? And also, a lot of Christians don't keep the Sabbath. Well, they might keep it on the wrong day. And a lot of you Christians buy on the day that you trying to keep the Sabbath.
God.
Knowingly, knowingly. Yeah, I know we can't buy, but I'm gonna still do it. I know a Christian that's like that. So are you telling me that? So okay, well, first of all, Slacky, can you pull Mark chapter 6, verse 56 real quick, just to prove to everybody that Christ wore fringes?
Said Mark chapter what?
6 verse 56.
Okay, I got you.
Uh-uh. And then you got it after me.
This is Mark chapter 6, verse 56. And it
Uh,
says, "Whithersoever he entered into the villages or cities or country, they laid the sick in the streets and besought him that they might touch if it were but the border of his garment, and as many as touched him were made whole."
Khan,
Uh,
Khan. That's right. So it says the border of his garment. Okay,
uh,
the border of his garment. So let's
uh,
see what that word border means. Khan.
uh,
Strong's G 2899, Crosspedon. Kraspedon.
Kraspedon. So it says the extremity of or prominent part of a thing, edge, skirt, margin. The fringe of a garment.
Mm,
Woo! It says the fringe of a garment. It gets deeper. In the New Testament, a little appendage hanging down from the edge of the mantle or cloak made of twisted wool. Mm.
mm.
Sounds like a lot like these. Look at that.
Okay.
Twisted wool, right? It says a tassel, tough. The Jews had such appendages attached to their mantles to remind them of the law. What precept is that?
Hey,
That's Numbers
number
15:38.
1538.
Plain, plain. And for the people that don't know, let's just pull it real quick. Numbers
Okay.
15:38.
This is Numbers chapter 15 and 38. 38, and it reads, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe the borders of ribbon of blue, and
Mm,
it, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and
mm,
remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and
mm.
that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a horn.
Khan, that's
Ah,
right. That's right.
point.
All praises to the Most High. Khan. So, um, we see here literally
Yes.
that Christ wore fringes, right? He wore fringes.
Hey,
So
Con, I
if
was
Christ wore
another count too.
fringes, oh, you said what, Ken?
Now, Con, I was after you. I'm gonna get another account that he, the other account that he wrote Frenches as well.
Okay, yeah, Khan. Yep, you got after me. So I was just gonna say, so if Christ wore fringes,
Uh,
that means that we have to wear fringes too. Okay, according to the precepts, we gotta follow Christ. We gotta do everything he did, right? So therefore, right, we have to wear fringes as well because that is part of the law. All right. So Khan, you got it, King.
Con. Hey, like the brother said, hey, he brung it out. Hey, perfect. Hey, brung out the strong on you. Simple Christians don't know about the strongs. They don't know about the etymology. They don't go into this. They don't go into the deep words. They don't. They disregard that. They read it so plainly. Hey, but hey, like this is Matthew 9:20. It's the another counsel. It says, and behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. Literally. So
Mm,
the hem is also the fringe, like the brother eloquently he went into.
Khan.
Okay, he finna get the strongs.
Yep. Yeah, it's the same word.
Same word.
It's the same word.
So you
Con.
can't get around it. You know,
Right.
you gotta wear your fringes. It's a classic precept too, because let's get this. Because it's so simple, but there's no expiration on precepts, and we gotta beat this in our people head every time we on the highways. Con. This is First John chapter 5 and verse of 3. It says, "For this is the love of God." So this is how you show the Most High that you love Him, that we keep His commandments. But this is the point, and His commandments are not grievous. So, like the brother was going to, hey, we gotta be perfect. Hey, and the commandments are not hard to do. They're not grievous. And we know
Con.
that grievous is mean it's not a burden. It's not hard. It's not like running 40 miles. Hey, it's like work to do it. Hey, you just gotta do it. You gotta have obedience and to do this thing. You know. Let me get this other precept king. This is
Right.
uh this is Matthew 4 and 4. Let me get it real quick. Because we can't be picking and choosing and a uh a, cherry picking the scriptures. This is Matthew chapter 4 verse 4. It says, "But he answered and said, It is written." That means it was written, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh." So, hey, the Most High said, "Hey, wear fringes. We wear fringes." And the Most High said, "Keep and remember the Sabbath day." We keep and remember the Sabbath day. Hey, the Most High said, "Hey, don't have no graven images." and no standing stones. Hey, we not gonna be Islam. We not gonna be Muslims. We not gonna be in Christianity church. Hey, we not gonna be worshiping Mary on the cross or wherever Mary be at and holding on the candles because you know she's steady. They be on she be on the candles a lot, and we not gonna be settle a worship white Jesus. You
Con,
know,
dog.
we gotta live by that bread alone. You know, and
Mhm.
that's going into. Let me get this other precept, King.
Con,
Because
con.
ultimately, we gotta follow Christ. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta follow Christ. Uh, it says this is John chapter 14:6. Is Yahushua say unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So if a Mashiach he wore fringes, hey, we gonna wear fringes as as was how old age Christians. We gonna wear fringes. We not gonna eat pork, and we gonna abide by all the laws by the Most High. And Khan, you got it.
Con. All praise to the Most High. Con. That's mighty. That's right. That's right. And I just wanted to touch on this verse too. Because that's a mighty verse that the brother pulled in Matthew 4:4. All right, because I like to ask Christians this too. Like, so do they live by this? Because in Matthew 4:4 it says, "But he answered and said, it's written." Right, meaning it was written in the Old Testament, as the brother said,
Hey, Khan,
referred to. Right, come like it.
you
Man
good.
should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. It says every word. So if you're saying, okay, that's well, we had to wear fringes, but that's the Old Testament,
Khan,
right? Some Christians might say that. In fact, the religion of Christianity is so broad that you really have to ask a Christian what they believe before attacking what they believe. Because just by saying they're a Christian, there's so many different types of Christians, and even within those different types of Christians, they believe and say different things, right?
Khan,
So, like certain Christians might say, "Well, we so that's the Old Testament, but we're under the new covenant, so that's not part of that." Some might say that, right? Some might say, "Well, um, what else? Like I don't know. Some might just make stuff up on the spot for real, right? Some might say, well, that was added to the law, right? Or some might say, well, you don't have to keep that commandment. Yeah, we have to live by every word, but we don't have to keep that commandment because that's not part of the 10. Some might even say that. So it just really differs on like what a specific person believes for real. But mainly what Christians say, from what I've encountered and what other brothers have encountered, usually they say that's the Old Testament, right? Or that's the Old Testament law or whatever, and that's done away with. We're not dealing with that, right? Uh, is that what Christians say to you out?
hey,
About
Khan, hey,
yeah,
Khan. Hey, I was dealing with a Christian last week. Hey,
yep.
and and I say Pookie on Christianity, Pookie on Christianity. But yeah, Khan, that's what they say.
Con, okay, con. So another witness from that brother, right? So, but here's the thing though. Here's why we can't do that, because it says by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. So you mean to tell me God is not speaking in the Old Testament, right? That would be absurd to say that. The Most High is not speaking in Numbers. The Most High is not speaking in Exodus. The Most High is not speaking in Deuteronomy. Of course, He is. So why would we say that, right? Why would we say that's the Old Testament or something like that, or that's done away with? We don't have to keep that. You should be wearing fringes. Christ wore fringes. You should be wearing fringes, right?
Khan,
That is a law. That is a commandment that still stands to this day. And most are willing we keep that unto the end, right? And most are and Lord willing is really on the broader scale. Yes, we're saved by grace because we can't keep all the commandments. By me, the brothers that we couldn't even go to Jerusalem, right? We're supposed
Khan,
to go to Jerusalem for the Passover. Feel me? The Feast of Tabernacles, the day of Pentecost. We didn't go. We kept it over here. So technically, we're not keeping that law, right? Also, another thing is We can't keep laws perfectly, with the laws on uncleanness, stuff like that. We can't keep every single law perfectly. That's not what we're saying. We're rehearsing the righteous acts, though. That's what Christians don't do, though. They don't take the extra step to actually rehearse the righteous acts, right? To actually try to keep as many laws as possible, because the Lord never said, if you can't keep one, don't keep them at all. If you can't keep one of them, don't keep them at all. Because Christians fall upon their own sword. Because the thing is, you can say, okay, well, if we don't have to keep that law, right? Fringes, for example, we don't have to wear fringes because that's in Numbers 15:38. So can I be homosexual? They'll say, wait, no, you can't. But that's in the Old Testament, though. What are you talking about? Right?
Mhm.
That's in Leviticus. It's not in the 10, right? But Con, you got it, King. Yeah, point of precept.
Nah, yeah, I got a precept. I got a precept. Let me get this real quick.
Okay, Con.
I was thinking about what you said. It was kind of a profound because there's a lot of things like as far as like a rape. It's not in the 10, but they say you only could keep the 10, but rape is not in the 10. So you be like, oh, so we could go around raping women, and
Yeah,
then
Con,
and then
exactly.
it's like no, that's not in the 10, but it's a law that the Most High expanded on in the later chapters and the books, con. But that was just like a thought, because people like to say they own things. This is let me get John St. John chapter 7 and verse 16. It says, but Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. So
Con.
you know that's cutting into what the idolatry of what's the word the Trinity. He's letting you know off the back, this is not mine. This is not mine to give you. This is something I'm relaying to you. It says, if any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. And that's a lot of this Christianity. They speak on their own glory. They boast about themselves. They boast about the things. Hey, we perfect. We doing this. I got 30 million people, congregation in it,
Mm,
but they have a fallen upholding the standard that Yahweh was sent to do and uphold and what the Most High has given us. It says, but he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and unrighteousness is in him. So 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 we know by default, if you're not following a the words that Yamashiach was saying when he came on earth, which was mostly a damn near the whole testament. So you can't just negate that and just jump to the New Testament. No, you got to live by what they were saying in the Old Testament, because and this is also a fool of thought. So you saying that they was walking around with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and Acts and the epistles? No, they living in that time. So they
mhm,
not walking around with that. So what is their template of how they should move? Because
mhm,
also, let me get this, because Acts 26. This is Paul. This is Acts 26 and 2. It says, having therefore obtaining help of Yahweh, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say shall come. So literally, hey, all through the so-called New Testament, and they living by everything the prophets were saying, everything that Moses was saying. So they keeping the laws by default. They keeping
con,
everything by default. So you can't go to Paul, you can't go to the New Testament. You can't say, "Oh, that's the new covenant." You can't say those things. And you can't be real Christians because you're not following what Moses said to do, or
mm,
what the prophet said
mm,
in the Old Testament, in the so-called Old Testaments, in the Torah, in the Tanakh, and so
mhm.
forth. Khan, you got it, King.
Con, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's beautiful. And I'm gonna pull this scripture on that too. Let's go to Matthew chapter 23, verse 1.
Khan.
Right, Matthew 23 and 1. Con. It says, Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So what does that mean? During this time, the scribes and the Pharisees were the government structure of Israel. So they were basically sitting in Moses' seat. Moses acted as a king. It'll tell you that in the book of Deuteronomy, right? He
Huh?
was like a king in Jeshurun, right? So Moses was like a king. He was over Israel. He was setting up the law. His job was to, because even in the book of Malachi, chapter 2, it says that for the priest's lips should keep knowledge, right? So they're the ones that's supposed to are responsible to give knowledge to the people, right? To lead them into the right way and to be leaders of the nation. That's their role. That's what Yahweh Shah is establishing here. Verse 3, right? It says, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do ye not after their works, for they say and do not. This is a cut. How is it a cut? Because what Yahweh Shah is saying, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, meaning whatever they tell you to do that. Because if they're sitting in Moses' seat, what would Moses tell you? To keep the law.
Yeah.
That's what Moses would say. So if they're saying to keep the law, that's their job to say to keep the law, and that's what they were doing. They were still saying keep the law to Israel, keep the law, right? So what Yahweh Shah is saying, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, of that observe and do, meaning keep the law. That's what Yahweh Shah is saying. But do ye not after their works, for they say and do not, meaning they're hypocrites, because they will say for you to keep the law, but they themselves do not, right? In fact, that's what Paul said too, right? They'll tell you to keep the law, but they themselves don't keep the law, right? So that's why we can't be like that either. Yahweh Shah taught people to keep the law. He was really keeping the law, man,
Uh-huh.
right? You know, he was really up in this thing, keeping the law, fringes, damn, you know, uh, uh, um, enduring temptations, right? What you think Yahweh Shah wasn't tempted, right? The book of Hebrews, chapter 4, talks about that, how he was tempted in all points, like as even we are, yet without sin, right?
Uh-huh.
Going back to him being that prime example, right? Um, but in verse 4 it says, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves would not move them with one of their fingers. And I'm also skip down to this precept too, because it's a good precept. Uh I like this precept in verse 23. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. So Yahweh Shah, he in this whole chapter, he's shaking the hand, right? This whole chapter, in fact, he's shaking the hand, right? It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law. See that? It says, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. So what Yahweh Shah is saying is he's getting on them because they're paying tithes of mint, anise, and cumin. These are spices. So it's like, so you mean to tell me they're so focused on the tithing, so now you literally have to count how much mint you got. All right, got to give 10%. You counting it one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, brother. Right? You kind of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, and you so focused on that, but you have the Lord said you omitted the weightier matters of the law. Meaning you're not even focused on the weightier matters, brother. However much you given with your damn spices, that don't matter to the Lord, man. What matters is judgment, mercy, and faith. These are the weightier matters of the law. And what Yahweh Shah is teaching, Yahweh Shah never said, don't keep the law. Show me that precept where it says that.
Mm.
Don't keep the law. You know what I'm saying?
And we wait.
Yeah, yeah, come on, we'll wait. Hey, we'll be waiting a long ass time because it's not in there, man.
Mm.
You know,
God.
Yahweh Shah never said, don't keep the law. So I don't know where people get that. Where they get that, they can't go to Yahweh Shah to prove that you can't keep the law. They always go to who? Paul.
Huh?
And what did Peter say about Paul? Right?
Yeah.
Peter said, let's get that precept up. 2 Peter 3 and 15. Right?
And Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 15. And it reads this. But
Mm-hmm.
sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts,
Oh,
and
you
be
got First Peter, right?
like Second Peter 3 and 15. And it reads
Mm-hmm.
this. And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you, as also in all his epistles, with speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they
Mm,
are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction.
mm. That's right. That's right. You know, plain. Even
Right?
Peter. Hey, remember, Peter was the what? The rock of the
Right.
church.
Uh,
So Peter being the rock of the church, Yahushua literally gave him the keys, right? He gave him the keys. Peter's a rock of the church. Even he said, "Man, which some things are hard to be understood." Like, look, if you don't know what this Bible is talking about, if you don't know what Christ is talking about, if you don't know what the Old Testament is talking about, you are not going to understand his scriptures. You are not going to understand his writings. You know. So he said that. So who are you to go? You open up the book of Galatians. You open up the book of Romans. You open up the book, right, of you know Ephesians,
Timothy.
and you think to have the understanding without actually having the proper understanding of the Old Testament first,
Hey,
and what
Con.
Yahweh is talking. You know, Con, you got it, King.
Hey, out of Paul's mouth, he said, hey, Acts
Yeah.
22, 26. He literally said, I speak nothing, hey, nothing else.
Con,
That's
con.
what Moses said and what the prophet said. So you can't get around it. Paul said it himself. Hey, Peter said it. Hey,
Mhm.
it doesn't get even get more clear in this thing. You know,
Right.
just another account that hey, Yahushua was a literally going in these scripts too. You know,
Hmm.
let me get this let me get this real quick. This this is Saint Luke chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, and there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah, I mean Isaiah. And when he's reading the book of Isaiah, just how we read in the book of Isaiah. Hey, Yahushua is opening the book of Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written. So he's reading the precepts. So if Yahushua is reading the Old Testament, why you want to negate the Old Testament? That don't
Hmm.
make sense.
Hmm.
That literally don't make sense.
Hmm.
Because he also said this. Hey, if we gonna live by the word, we gotta be in this. We gonna let's get this real quick. This is John chapter 7 and verse 38. It says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So we literally got hey, whatever um Christ did, we got to do as well. Hey, if Christ is opening the book of Isaiah, hey, damn it, we gonna open the book of Isaiah and go all through the Old Testament.
Con, that's
You
right.
know, kind you got it, King.
Con, I got a precept on that too. You know what you were saying. In the precepts you're bringing out. This is John 5 and 39. It says, search the scriptures.
Mm,
Oh, woo.
mm,
Now you see that. Now he in this context, we will agree that he's talking to the scribes, Pharisees, originally in this context. Thing is, right? Why would Yahweh Shah would say that to everybody too? Search the scriptures, all right?
yeah,
Search the scriptures. Now, in its proper context, is Yahweh Shah talking about the letter to the church of Corinth? Now, you can read that. We're not saying don't read it, right? But in this original context, Yahweh Shah is talking about the Old Testament. We just got to be real here. Paul wasn't even in the truth during this time.
yeah,
James did not write his epistle yet. John didn't write his epistles yet. Peter didn't write his epistles yet. That stuff wasn't written until Yahweh Shah after he had died and rose again, right? So when he's
yeah,
talking about search the scriptures, he's talking about the Old Testament, right? Namely, it says, search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. You see that? So he's saying search the scriptures. That's something that we have to do, because everything is still prevalent there, still prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is just come. Oh no, you just blot that out. You just get the black marker and just kind of blot that out because
Mm.
that doesn't matter anymore,
Hey,
right? The Lord never said that, man. The Lord never said that. Even in the book of Romans, right? 15 verse 4, the Lord, Paul said, through the Spirit, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right? It was written for your learning, not just so. Oh, okay. Oh wow, the Israelites had to they couldn't eat pork. Man, I can't imagine. No, you still got to keep that, man.
man,
Right?
Con,
You just, you know what I'm saying? You still got to keep that to this day, because here's the thing, right? You got a point of precept about it. Or get this.
I got a precept
All right,
after you.
Con,
Okay, okay. Hey,
mhm.
Con, I'm gonna go back to Saint John chapter 5 in verse 46. Hey, Christ literally said, this is Saint John 5 and 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my words? Hey, if you don't believe, hey, what Moses is writing, which is in the Old Testament, hey, how you gonna be able to, understand what Christ is talking about? You
Right.
gotta go through the whole road. You just can't pick and choose. Hey, what we gonna understand and what we don't want to read, and what we don't want to adhere to. Hey, literally out of Christ's mouth. I'm gonna read 47. He said, "But if you believe not his writings, so if you don't believe nothing, hey, Moses wrote, hey, how shall you believe my words? Hey, this is literally coming from his mouth.
Yeah.
So you can't be out here not trying to say you a Christian and not following Christ, hey, and not reading the uh the Old Testament. That's off.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get this preset. Let me get this preset real quick. And brother said, hey, they handing out sharpies, black sharpies. That's off. Handing out black sharpies.
Right.
Let me get this
Come
preset
on
real
now.
quick. Can't be handing out black sharpies. This is Revelation chapter 22 and 19. It says, "If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy." So if we literally taking away everything, literally, a Christianity literally takes away the whole Old Testament. Don't even deal with it. They said New Testament on now. Hey, they got book Bibles just with New Testament in it.
Right.
And
Just the
no,
New Testament.
that's all they care about, the New Testament. They kind of don't even care about the New Testament, the gospel. They only care about Paul letters. They want letters. They want the letters, and that's it. Throw away the whole everything else. I don't even want
Mm,
to. I don't even want to hear about Malachi. Don't tell me about Malachi, Habakkuk, Nahum. I don't even want to hear about them. They
right.
say, "Hey, Yahweh, God shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book." Later you're gonna be cut off, man. You don't want to deal with the Old Testament, and you're gonna be cut off. And ultimately, everything in the Old Testament was kind of preparing you about the signs of who the Christ is gonna be, you
Hmm.
know, as well. So if you believe on Christ, but you don't believe nothing they wrote about Christ, that don't even make sense. Con, you got it, King.
Yeah, con, exactly, man. Exactly. That's like bro, how how can you negate the Old Testament, right? And a lot of our people do this that are Christians, right? Because you even have higher level Christians that might be Edomites, right? And the only reason why I say they're higher level, because they actually try to search the scriptures, and come up with a better way to scoff at the doctrine, right? But when you deal with Israelites, especially like Baptists, like our people that's in the Baptist church and whatnot, come on, bro. Like they got their level of knowledge in the scriptures is just like, bro, come on now. Like you're gonna say that the laws in a way, Old Testament, we not dealing with the Old Testament. And you just quoted. couple Bible verses and totally misconstruing them, man. You know what I'm saying? Talking about he had made all things clean, right? He had no idea what that was going into, man.
Man,
Right?
God.
You know, stuff like that. So it's crazy. I was thinking about a precept. It had escaped me through the spirit. Um, but nevertheless, I want to get this precept done, right? While it comes back to me. Uh, yeah, a lot of the stuff that Yahushua said to do, they don't really do that necessarily. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, right? Go to Matthew chapter 6 and verse 1. It says, take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them, otherwise you have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Don't Christians do that?
Man,
Christians give their alms before men. Isn't Drake a Christian?
God.
Isn't he talking about God's plan? Right?
God.
When he talking about that, bro, right?
God.
Hey,
He
Con,
was.
oh, you said
Oh,
what?
I said he's supposed to be Jewish too.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Jewish on his mom's side or something like that, you know? And according to the Jewish culture, you know, you are where your mother is, which is off. Ah,
Man,
that's mad. But
man.
yeah, come on. So, so you have certain people, but they do their alms before men, even though they're Christians. How can you call yourself a Christian? You're not doing anything that Christ said to do, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? Also, Christians like to pray in public too. All right, what did Christ say about that? Verse 5, it says, and when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to stand praying in the synagogues and the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. Now, when I'm saying Christians, I'm not saying every single Christian upon earth, but I'm speaking in a generalized statement. All right. Speaking in a generalized statement. All right. Um, also, also, we know about uh we know about con- uh the conquering, right? We know about the conquering. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a minute. We know about the conquering and the colonization of the Americas by Catholics and Christians. Okay, the Pilgrims were Christians. The conquistadores were Christians. These men that went around the world and did these tragic things to the native people of the lands, such as, you know, I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. But they destroyed the people and pillaged the people and literally took another of their resources and deprived them of life, right, and etc. and gave them Christianity. That's what they did in Japan. So they did in Mexico. So they did in Brazil. That's what they did in the continent of Africa. Everywhere they went, that's what they did, right? So the thing is with that, are you mean to tell me you're killing people? Um, doing all these things that the Bible says not to do, you're doing it in the name of Christ, all right, supposedly, and converting them to this white image of Jesus. You mean to tell me that's what Christ would want? You going around the whole world and rape, rob, and murdering the people of that land, right? Doing it in his name? Where did the Bible say to do that? Where does the Bible say to do that? It's not any precept that says that. So we even see that these people that the Catholics, for example, how you guys Christians when your founding fathers did that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you had Christians even in the USA, Christians in the South who had slaves. What does the scripture say about that, huh? Right? I thought that bond nor free, right? Male nor female, we're all one in Christ. But you sitting up in the house while I'm out in the field working, getting my
Man,
back beat.
God.
What the hell is going on? So we see that look, when you try to take it, you know, the first Christians were actual Christians. They followed the law, they kept the law. In fact, let's prove that real quick, right? Um, let's go to Acts chapter 21, right? Um, You trying to read this Baba Kasha?
What you need?
Come on, Acts chapter 21 and verse number uh let's start at verse 20 and then we're gonna skip down.
Archon. This is Acts chapter 21, verse 20.
Come on.
And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews they are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
You see that? So there's so many thousands of Jews who should believe, and they are all zealous of the law. Did they get on them for being zealous on the law? No, because they knew that that's something you had to still do. Right now, we're going to skip down to verse number. Actually, yeah, let's just keep going. Come on.
Okay, verse 21. And they are informed of thee that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after their customs. What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come.
Mm-hmm.
Do therefore this day, do therefore this that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them.
Right.
Them them take and purify them thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that but thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law.
And does what?
And keepest the law.
Wow. You see that? And this vow that they have on them, right, is a Nazarite vow.
Yeah, kind.
According to the Bible, let's get that real quick. All right. So we're going back to so if you come on now, bro. We in Acts chapter 21. If you
Kind.
don't know what that vow is because you didn't read the Old Testament, how would you have understanding of that passage?
Kind. Let me read again.
Yeah, Con, you got it.
It's Numbers 6:2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and drink and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dry. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, and in the which he separate himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the
Mm-hmm.
days that he separate himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. Let me get to the point.
Con, you got
Verse
it. Yep.
9. Verse 9. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he shall defile the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it.
Yeah, Con. So after that, saying that period of time in which that Nazarite vow would be over, or if it had to be suddenly abrupt come to abrupt start because of the unclean thing, stuff like that, then you would have to shave your head. All right, you'd have to shave your head. So and count the water. So that's that vow that's on them that you would have to shave their head. That's in Numbers chapter 5. So they're still doing Nazarite vows in Acts chapter 21, right? And it says, and remember, this is the elders in the church, and he's saying, look, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law. So he's saying, look, you keep the law, Paul, but these people think that you don't keep the law, but show them that you keep the law, right? Because he does. Verse 25 also it says what? As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. Why is he saying you got to abstain from fornication? Because that's part of the law. Why is he saying that you have to abstain from blood? Because that's part of the law as well. You can't eat anything with the blood. All right. So they're still teaching to keep the law in Acts chapter 21. All right. Because they understood. They understood what Yahushua was teaching. Yahushua never said to not keep it. All right. So this is proving that in this time, the first Christians, they were real Christians because they actually did what Yahushua told them to do. But when we look at Christian, like how the brother said, New Age Christians, they're not doing that. The doctrine is all messed up because of the rhetoric that's been taught them for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. All right. It's a stronghold that's on our people, like it states in the book of Second Corinthians. All right. Um, and you see here in verse 26 that he actually did it. All right. He performed that through the Spirit. All right. And you know, there's a lot of precepts on the fact that Paul himself kept the law as well. Okay, through the Spirit. So you know, I mean, it's plain, man. It's plain, right?
Uh,
Don, you had a point of precept about it?
I was I want to go back too far, but
Yeah.
the the so-called Edomites, because that's what those so-called white men is. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
that's how they live. They live by doing a contrary to what anybody believe. You know, and like the brother said, they go around pillaging and um pillaging and taking people resources, and then
Mm-hmm.
they say, "Hey, this manifest destiny. Hey, this
Right.
my God given duty to do this."
Yeah.
And they try to blame it on God, like God said, "Do this." Because last
Mm-hmm.
time I checked, let me get this preset. Hey, God said, "If you still live a man," let me get that real quick. This is Exodus chapter 21 and 16. It says, "And he that stilleth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." Hey, if you still a man and sell him, and which they did, hey, they did that to man 4 million slaves. They say that they got that on record, and it's really more because a lot of people got pushed over, and a lot of people died on the way here, you know. So that's always been a they duty. Let me get this other precept real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So like the manner of them, they always been like this from the beginning. Let me get this real quick. Let me get it. This is Second Maccabees chapter 6 and 4. It says, "For the temple was filled in riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful." So literally, they do everything contrary to what the Most High set up from the beginning. They steal, they rob, they kill. Hey, they do all matter of lewdness, all matter of lasciviousness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what they do. Verse 5, it says, "The altar was filled with profane things, which the law forbidded." So they doing everything that the Most High said not to do. Hey, but they the people of the book. Or this they manifest destiny. And they chunking up to that and saying, "God, I'm a Christian, and God said I gotta come take this thing over. And you weak and I'm strong." It says, "Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or
Mm.
profess himself at all to be a Jew." So they
Mm.
be doing everything against what the Most High said. That always been the custom. A the a they herit the the heritage of the white man, so-called white man, is to rape, rob, pillage, and do everything contrary to what the law said. But they Christians, like the brother said, they
Mm-hmm.
good Christians. Hey, the good Christians, they be in the KK mass. Hey, the good old Christians, they the ones that's burning the cross. Hey, putting on Jake Long
Yeah.
and they return, and that's history. Hey, Emmett Till. I bet they was Christian. Hey, they beat Emmett Till, that young boy. I forget how old he was, but they beat him like he was a grown man. And
Yeah.
I believe they was Christians.
Mm-hmm.
They got that real Southern Christian mentality, and
Right.
they really showed him how a New Age Christian act, and like a better term, so Kind of, I was. You got it, King.
Yeah, Khan. That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. You have a lot of Christians who really, you know what I'm saying? And this, I mean, it's the whole video, but it's like you say you're a Christian, but you're not doing what Christ said. Where did Christ ever say to beat one of the sons of God right up for no apparent reason, man? And for that, you must get judged, man. And hey, that day is coming, man, through the Spirit. That day is coming, all right? But yeah, Khan. So
Uh,
yeah, it's not there. Also, Christ also didn't like the heathen. Okay. He did not like the heathen. Now people might say, What? What do you mean? Christ didn't like the heathen. Christ loves everybody. All right, well, in Luke chapter 13 and verse 31, all right, it says this. Hey, Yahweh shot, look, man, he's not falling for the okie doke. All right. Luke 13:31, it says, the same day there came certain Pharisees, the Pharisees saying unto him, Get thee out and depart thence. Depart hence, for Herod will kill thee. They're trying to scare Yahushua, saying, Look, you better get out of here. Herod's going to kill you, right? Verse 32. What did Yahushua say? And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that fox. So he called
mm.
Yahushua fox. Are you Christians calling these heathen foxes? And that word fox really is like, it's like, like how you have the derogatory term or like a slang word, for a female dog is like, it's like a B word. It's the B word. You know what I'm saying? That's like the equivalent of that for real. You know, let's see what the Greek says. Oh yeah. You see that? A fox, metaphorically a sly or crafty man.
Mm.
I'm calling them like a snake. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Okay.
fox. Go tell that fox. You know what I'm saying? Like, go tell that damn, you know, bleed, right? That's how Yahweh shot got them. Go you tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected. So he was like, look, man, I'm gonna keep doing the work. I don't give a damn what Herod is talking about. I'm keep doing the work, right? So yeah, so are Christians doing that, man? They calling heathens foxes and you know, uh, you no, they don't do that. All right, they don't do that. Okay,
Mm-mm.
come on. Also,
And
let's
out.
go. Oh, you got it, King.
Nah, I was just saying they coon out.
Yeah, Khan, exactly. They coon out. That's right. That's right. Our people. Hey, even when you go to Luke chapter 23, right? Let's see if Yahweh Shai was so glad to see Herod and Herod, the gospel is for you. And I just love Edomites. Because Herod was an Edomite, man. Watch, right? Y'all don't believe me, huh? Herod was a damn Edomite. That's lucky. Herod the Great, Herod the First, also known as Herod the Great, was a Roman Jewish client. All right, that's off. King of Judea, referred to as the Herodian kingdom. Born in Edom. Damn,
Damn.
literally. Born in Edom, man.
And
Edomite. God, you can't make this up, man. All right, can't make this up. His mother was a Judah, right? So he could have looked a little, like a Judite for real. You know what I'm saying? Kind of got the attributes, kind of look kind of like a Judite, but he wasn't a Judite because his father's an Edomite, right? If his father's an Edomite, his mom is a Judite, it don't matter where your mom is, all right, according to the precepts. But it says when you go to Luke 23 and verse 7, it says or I'm not sure if this is not Herod the first though that he talking to, but I'm just saying one of the Herods had a the so-called Jewish, you know what I'm saying, mother, right? Luke chapter 23 verse 7, and as soon as the Herod he talking to is I believe this is Herod Antipas, right? Let me see, it's lucky if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Herod Antipas, right? um or Yeah, Con, if I'm not mistaken, right? If I'm not mistaken. But it's like it says, verse 8. And when Herod saw Yahushua, he was exceeding glad, for he was desirous to see him of a long season. So Herod was like, look, man, finally able to meet Yahushua. He was exceeding glad because he was desirous to see him of a long season, right? Because he had heard many things of him, and he had hoped to see some miracle done by him. Let's see if Yahushua welcomed him with open hands. Verse 9. Then he questioned him with him in many words, but he answered him nothing. So Yahushua he didn't even waste his breath with the Edomite, man. You know? So are you so the Jake so you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Americans that are Christians? Are you doing this to the so-called white man? You're not giving him nothing. You're not even talking to him. Hey, that's what Yahweh did. He was ignoring the heathen. He did that to the Canaanite, Matthew chapter 15.
Like,
But he answered her not a word. Right? Yeah. So that's how he saw these. He didn't like them. Right? He didn't like them. He said, let the dogs. Or he said, it's not meat to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. You're a dog. Get out of here. That's basically what he was saying. Yeah, kind. Like you must be insane if you think I'm gonna give the children bread and cast it to you, right? So that's how Yahweh treated these heathen. Okay, even when you go to the book of Matthew, it's like you got a point of precept up.
Now, Khan, you got it, King.
All right, Con. In Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15, the Lord said, if he neglect to hear the church, right, basically dealing with matters, like I'm gonna just pull it then, right, it's a teaching point, right? Matthew chapter 18 verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So let's say me and the brother Sirach has a fault, God forbid. But let's just say, right? Like the brother, he stepped on my new Air Forces. You know,
Damn.
damn. The new forces, right? It was custom made through the spirit. Hey, it cost a little something, and he just stepped on it like, all right, what you gonna do? No, I'm just playing. But hey, let's just that happens, right? Hey, that's fast. So I have to, hey, brother, I have to go up to him and tell him like, hey, kind of offended me, right? It says, tell him to his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother, right? Meaning, if you guys can work it out, you have gained your brother. But if you will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. So if you said, look, if he doesn't want to hear you, okay, you take with you two or three witnesses. Now you guys are in a group, kind of work it out. Every word, it says out of the mouth two or three witnesses, every word may be established, right? Verse 17. And if he neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. So now you're telling it onto the whole body. Now the whole body kind of coming together and sorting it out, right? But if you neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican. Ooh. So now Yahweh Shah is saying, look, treat him like a heathen. If he doesn't want to listen to any of that, not listening to the counsel of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shah, treat him like a heathen, man. Let him be like unto heathen, man. You're not dealing with him now.
Man.
That's what the Lord said. That's what the Lord said. So are Christians doing that? You know? I thought you said you love everybody, right? I thought everybody is equal. That's what they say. Everybody is equal. That's not in the Bible. That's not what Christ said, right? Because if you treat somebody like a heathen, but you treat this brother, it's like you treat this brother like a brother, Israelite. You treat this man like a heathen. That's not equality. If this Canaanite woman came up and she couldn't even talk to Yahweh Shah unless she acknowledged, yeah, I'm a dog, but at least dogs get the crumbs, right? Right? If she's saying that, she's acknowledging, look, you are above me. You Israelites are above. Y'all God's chosen people. I'm below, but please let me get a crumb. So so that's not equality. But Christians teach equality, right? But Khan, you got it.
Now, Khan, even the point of even the
Right.
apostles like, man, get her out of here. I ain't dealing. Like, why is she over here, man?
Right.
So, hey, the apostles was even like that, and they couldn't. They swear, hey, the apostles was here to teach, the Gentiles. Hey, don't go into the way of the Gentiles too.
Yeah, come on.
Don't go in, no, go in, and go to them. So if the Mashiach or Christ is like that, he's not changing, and he don't change because it's 2020 or what was it 2022. Let me get this real quick. It's a little point. It's Hebrews chapter 13 and 8. And it reads this. And so this is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. It says, Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. Hey,
Ev-
he's the same. Same way he called Herod a fox. Same way he annoyed the Canaanite woman. The same way he annoyed the Herod. The same way. And he said, call him a heathen or Republican. It's the same. He's not changing. So
mhm.
he can't change from a God only here. Let me get this. Let's get this. Let's make it plain because let me get it. This is Matthew 1:21. Classic. Can't get around it. This is Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahawashai, or Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. So he
Mm,
ain't one time he come in to save the Israelites because he is the Israelite. Or and then now in 2022 he's here for the whole world. Or he loved everybody. He gonna answer Herod. He ain't finna cast out the Canaanite woman. No, he's gonna be the same. You can't change him. You know,
mhm,
you can't
mhm.
change. Let me get this piece up.
Oh,
This is uh Galatians chapter 1 verse 8. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you. So if anybody coming with any other doctrine that, that's not thus said the Lord, that's not coming out the scriptures, that's not coming, a conforming to a new age Christianity. It says what? Then that unto you, then that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. So that
mhm.
man a curse. It says, as we said before, so say I say now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you, then that ye have received, let him be accursed. Literally, you can't be in the scriptures and getting anything else than what the brothers is bringing out through the spirit of the Most High.
Gone.
If the man not coming, thus said the Lord, hey, he's a liar, and the truth is not in him. And that's that's plain. You
Gone.
know,
Gone. That's
so
right.
you can't be coming with any other thing. Let me get this last precept. This is First Peter chapter 4 verse 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. So if any man speak, he gotta come through Genesis, through all the way through Revelations, not Matthew to Revelations. It says, if any man minister, let him do it as the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So,
Gone.
gotta give all glory to the Most High. You gotta go through the whole road. If you're gonna be a Christian, you gotta come with the oracles. A lot of Christians, I feel. They say, "Oh, I feel," and I believe that if that He love everybody. I believe that. I believe in my heart. In my heart,
Right.
He says, hey, there's nothing. They butchered it, like the brother said. They butchered the precept. Don't know nothing he's talking about. Because a lot of them, I give it to them. A lot of them don't be knowing these precepts. You gotta give it to them though. They really be in the precepts, but man,
Mm,
don't
yeah.
butcher. They butchered the thing crazy. But yeah, if they not coming through the precepts, breaking this thing down, you can't believe them. You can't believe every man. You can't believe every woman. If you believe in a woman pastor, that's man. But that's just another thing. But Khan, you got a key.
Hey, Con, that's a trick too, because I was in a class right at school, or in university, and I'm on the Zoom call, you know what I'm saying, the soldier call on Tuesdays, you know what I'm saying, the soldier call, and I'm on it, and I'm kind of like tuning into it, but I'm sitting down and I'm waiting for the class to start, and then uh girl that sits next to me, Christian, right? Um, and she like, why is it only? So she was like, what is this? She's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a it's a Zoom call. For my organization. You know what I'm saying? And and yeah, con. And then she like, how come I only see men on there? I'm like, because we the teachers. That's what I said. Because we're the most High ordained us to be the teachers. You know.
Yeah.
So, and I mean that's in the scriptures, like the men, the teachers. She didn't really say nothing after that because
Okay,
you
Khan.
can't say
You
nothing,
can't say that.
man.
He
Yeah,
let precept out on you.
yeah. God, unless I need to bring out the sword, you know.
Khan, the
Uh,
baby bring out the baby cannon on you.
yeah, God, the baby cannon, come. And
Khan,
it's lucky, yeah, we got brother on here, Con, faithful brother on here. Yeah, Con, the brother say, hey, don't change it at all. Christians
Khan,
will try to say that the new covenant was made for the other nations and the old covenant for Israel. Yeah, that's off.
uh,
That goes into, really, if they say that, they will have to go into replacement theology, because you can't get around the fact that it says Israel, it says the house of Judah and the house of Israel. You know,
Khan,
so the way that they will have to, oh shoot, if it's house of Israel and house of Judah, how are we in there? They'll have to say, aha, we are the house of Israel and we are the house of Judah. So yeah, they would have to say that, which is a whole different. I did a breakdown on that to the spirit, but
Khan.
yeah, come,
And so like it can and they
yeah,
can't
come
get
got it.
around. Hey, it says it already in the Old Testament, so you can't change it. You
Come,
can't change it. You think Hebrews, the writer for Hebrews, you think he just made that up out of nowhere? No, he got that from somewhere.
yeah, come. That's right.
He got that Jeremiah 30. What do you mean?
31, 31. Yeah, come.
It doesn't it don't make sense. Even a Romans, a Paul said it as well. Hey,
Come.
Paul said it the best, Hey, both covenants with an S, so
Mm,
it don't even make sense, man.
yeah,
Hey, Bible and read. A Revelations 1 and 3, man. Blessed is he that readeth.
that's right. That's right. Blessed is he that readeth. Not, but we're not even, yeah,
That's
kind of exactly. Also, another question, right? Let's see if Christians believe this, right? So,
uh,
majority of Christians believe in the Trinity, right?
mm,
The doctrine of the Trinity. All right, let's look it up real quick. So, Trinity, right? The doctrine of the Trinity is finds one God existing in three co-equal, co-eternal, co-substantial divine persons: the God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Three distinct persons sharing one. I'm not going to say that, right? But three distinct persons sharing one, basically ontological. So they are basically the doctrine of the Trinity is these three beings, these three persons make up one ontological being. All right. Um, so most Christians believe in this doctrine, which came from the Catholic Church, first of all. All right. Christians that don't believe in this, uh, an exception would be Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, maybe other sects of Christianity. I haven't seen it though. Uh, and also oneness. Um, People that believe in the oneness doctrine. All right, which is not the Trinity. Trinity includes three people, one God. Oneness says that Christ and the Father are the same person, like they are the same. So John, their main scriptures are like what John 10:31 or 30 says, I'm my Father are one. They take that to be so literal that Jesus Christ and the Father are the same thing. All right, which is different than Trinity. The brother laughing. Yeah,
Crazy.
con. Yeah. Yeah. You said well,
I said, hey, that's crazy, man. Man, God,
con. So that's
yeah,
just a little bit about the, yeah, Christology of Christianity. All right. Now, of course, here we we so-called, well, not so-called, we're, us Israelites, we don't believe in that because it's not in the Bible. All right. Now, if so, I'm gonna say this: most of the scriptures, in fact, when you go into the Trinity, all right, let me get this real quick. We believe in something that is called Arianism. Now, we don't get it from here, but the doctrine that we pull from the scriptures is called Arianism by other people. We don't call it Arianism. We just call it, look, it's the Bible. All right. So the Arian controversy was a series of Christian disputes about the nature of Christ that began with a dispute between Arius and Anthemius of Alexandria, two Christian theologians from Alexandria, Egypt. All right. So Arianism is the doctrine basically similar to ours that says that Jesus Christ, right, Yahushua is the Son of the Most High. The Father is over Christ, right, and that's it. I mean, when we look at Christ, he never makes himself. He never calls himself I. He never says I am the Most High. He never says that. He never said fall down and worship me because I am the Most High. He never said that. All right, we're going to read what Christ said. We're going to read what Christ said. John 14:28. Ye have heard that how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If ye love me, you will rejoice, because I said, I go unto the Father. For my Father is greater than I. Oh man. So if we don't, because remember, a lot of Christians, when they try to prove anything, they go to, well, Paul said this. Let's go to the book of Romans. Let's go to the book of Galatians. Let's go to the book of Ephesians. So when we actually go to the words of Christ, if we don't, so we can deal with those verses about Paul. We can deal with it. Thing is, let's just not look at Paul for a second and look at the words of Christ. Because remember, Paul, who is the teacher of Paul? Christ. So we're going to the teacher, all right? We're going to the source over here. So we looking at this, we seeing that Yahweh is saying the Father is greater than him. So why in the hell are we getting some type of Trinity? You see that? We just read Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah never made mention of the Trinity. You know? So if Christians actually were following Christ, they wouldn't be worshiping him, right? Like you would worship the Most High God. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, because he never said to do that, right? He never said to do that. And a preset that they might go to disprove what I just said is to basically the fact that you would have to honor the son as you honor the father. The thing is, with that precept, it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to worship Yahweh Shah like how you worship the Father, right? Because we know that it's two different types of worships, right? It's
God,
two different types of honors and two different types of worships. Even when you go into the Greek, right? Proskuneo and latreo. Latreo is always given to the Father, and proskuneo is given unto Yahweh Shah, right? Two different types of worships. Okay, just as in Revelation, for example, when you go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9, it says, "Behold, I'll make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I'll make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee." So that word for worship right there is proskuneo. Proskuneo is not given to the Father because the Father is upheld the most form of worship. All right. But Israelites can be worshipped. That was as we see right here. Israelites are going to be worshipped, right, by the fake Jews. Okay. Does that make us the most high? No, it doesn't make us the most high. It we're gods, but it doesn't make us the most high God.
yeah.
They're just worshiping at our feet. Gone. But yeah, if you got a point of precept, you got it.
Oh, kind, yeah, brother. You know, he said it. You know, emphatically perfect. Hey, you can't get around it. Hey, Jesus, I was shy. Ain't never said he's the Father. Hey, like you said, he always made the difference. Put a difference between each other. I got a couple precepts. This is Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 13. It says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man. So the Son of Man is who? Is Christ. Came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days. So the Ancient of Days is the Most High God, Yahweh. So the Son of Man and the Ancient of Days are two different people because the Son of Man is literally coming up to the presence of the Most High God. So
Con.
they can't be the same person. It's clear, distinct, a clear, distinctive difference. And he says, and this is the spirit world. At that it says, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion. So he was given dominion. If he was the Most High God, don't he just have dominion? He just have it. You know, I
Right,
just
that's right.
I'm the Most High God. I have the dominion, but he was given the dominion. He was given dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
Mm-hmm.
And he being served. Like the brother said, is he the Most High now? Because he being served?
Right,
No. He's gonna be he's been given this dominion. It's like
right.
a it's like a man given a what's one of these? Jeff Bezos have a son, and he give his Amazon company to his son. Now his son have dominion over the whole company of Amazon. It's the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
The same exact thing. It says, which shall not pass away, in his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Hey, he was given the kingdom, and he was given this dominion. So he
That's
can't be most high. He has to be a lower God than the most high
right.
God. It's plain. Hey, we've got to read. Hey, reading is fundamental, Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Christians, reading is fundamental, and you can't miss a step if you read. You know, can't man. Let me get this other precept, King. This uh
God.
this this is Saint John. Hey, this Saint John chapter 15 and 10. Hey, let's make it plain for him, King. This is Saint John chapter 15 and verse 10. It says, "If you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love."
Right.
It's plain. If we keep the commandments, the Father gonna love you. It says, these things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. So he's saying my Father. If him and the Father, again, if they are the same person, why he's referring to himself as a father? That
Mm.
doesn't make sense. Christians, we gotta make those scriptures align and make it make sense. You
Hey,
got
that's
to. You
smart.
gotta make it make sense because that's uncalled for. A perfect man is literally talking to himself, calling himself father. Hey, like the brother said, hey, what is he's schizophrenic now? He duality. He got two personalities now. No, he's one
Oh.
man. Hey, he's not talking to himself because that would make him what, a crazy man. They might a straight jacket him. No,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Hey, this is another precept. Hey, this is Matthew chapter 9, Saint Matthew 9 and 17
God.
says, and he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one. So he's saying, hey, I'm not even good, and I'm perfect. But it's only one person that good. And then he said, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Mm.
He's God. He should say, hey, I'm the God that's perfect. I'm not perfect, but God is. It
Yeah.
gotta make sense. Gotta make it make sense. And let's get the beloved Paul, because they love Paul. Hey, they kind of look. Hey, New Age Christians love Paul more than they love the words of Christ. I'm gonna just throw it out there. They,
Hey,
I'm
that's
gonna,
right.
they Paulines, Paulinites. You know,
Yeah, come on.
and we love Paul, but Christ's word supersedes all.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
At this First Corinthians chapter 11, at uh, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. So God is the head of Christ. So how is they the same people? Make it make sense. You have to, and every time it's gonna be emphatically wrong. The brother brought the precept
Come
on a line. Let's read from.
Yeah, con. Yeah, that's a cut too. What the brother just pulled. First Corinthians 11:3, man. You can't get around that one.
Man, you can't get around it.
Can't.
You gotta be a you gotta be a. I'm gonna choose my words. You ain't right, man. You're not right. That's what I'm gonna say. This you're not right. This is Saint John chapter 10 in verse 35. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
con. Yeah.
If he called them gods unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken, say ye of him whom the Father has sanctified and sent into the world, that blasphemous, because I said I am the Son of God.
Son of God. He said, "I am the Son of God." That's a good precept,
Uh,
right?
if
Because
so, like it can go ahead.
oh yeah, con. So like I was just saying, look, Christ said, "I am the Son of God." He never said that he was the Most High. In
Uh,
fact, when the Jews try to say, "Look, are you saying you the Most High?" Right in verse 33, it says, "The Jews answered him, saying, For a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, because that thou being a man makest thyself God." So you saying you the Most High? Right? You saying you the Most High? What did Yahweh say? Verse 34. Yahweh answered them, "Is it not written in your law? I said, ye are gods."
mm,
So he said, "Look, hey, all of you guys are gods. What you talking about?"
man,
Right? Yeah. And then and remember, Yahweh shall never say he was the most high. He just said, "Look, I am the son of the most high." How so you mean to tell me the son of the most high and the most high is the same person?
dang, don't even make sense.
Man, man. And what Christian might say to that too is it don't have to make sense. Right?
Yeah,
So hey, you expect us to believe that, what I'm saying? That's madness, man. And Khan, shalom to all the brothers, mighty brothers on the chat, man, through the spirit. All praise to the most high. Right? Yeah, that's crazy, man. Khan, that's crazy. And there's so many things, what I'm saying, that Christians claim to follow Christ, but they just don't do these things, right? Christ said to read the Old Testament, they don't do that, right? Christ said to keep the law, they don't do that, right?
hmm
Christ said, I am the son of the Most High. No, they said, no, you're a Trinity, right? What? They say, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, oh, Christ loved everybody, but he didn't show love to that Canaanite woman, right? He didn't show any love to Herod, even though Herod was happy to see him. He was like, Herod was like, oh man, it's Yahushua, this, that, and the third. Yahushua didn't say a word to him. He even wastes his breath with the heathen, man.
yeah.
He called Herod a damn fox. In fact, he was whipping his own people, man. In John chapter 2, you know? So are you really following Christ, man? Because as soon as we brothers on the block, right? We brothers on the block, we reading mighty through and the brother Sirach reading mighty through the spirit. And the brother Sirach reading mighty, you can hear it all the way from across the street. You know, brothers is teaching, shaking the hand. Now you just want to call us angry people, all right? In fact, but Christ was shaking the hand. He said, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees." He said, "Woe," meaning death and destruction.
uh,
Right? He was then cussing them out. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. Right? In Matthew 7 and 5, the Lord said, thou hypocrite, calling people out of the name, man. Now you want to get mad at us because we're actually, you know, coming in that spirit of Yahushua, man.
Huh?
You know, yeah, he did come in the spirit of a lamb, right? At the same time, you know, he still was a man of the Most High. He still was a son of the Most High. Remember, last time I checked, Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war, right? So he's not a software, effeminate, weak dude, man. You know, um, through the spirit. And like how the brother said, he said, hey, LO, that's when you know that they cut. Exactly, man. That's how you know that they're cut, right? They just had nothing else to say. Well, all right, yeah, whatever, right? So, it's just a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff. Um, and time will fail us to go through every single thing that they claim to follow, but they really don't through the spirit, right? But you had anything else on that, Ak?
Uh, yeah, kind of. Hey, yeah, like your brother was saying,
Uh,
they get mad, because like the brothers be out there doing, hey, what the Most High said do.
right,
That's how
right.
much they go to the highways and byways, go to the hedges, hey, bid everybody to bid as much as you can, good or bad, to the marriage.
Yeah.
Hey, that's literally his words,
Oh,
you know. And like the brother said, hey, and brother said, they kind of was scared of, people was kind of scared of Yahushua. They didn't even want to ask him a stupid question, kind of. They was kind of scared to ask him a question. Like, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna get that precept. This is Luke 19 and 20. It says, and another came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound which I have kept laid up in the napkin. For I feared thee because thou art an austere man. Hey, he was very serious with this thing. You know, hey, people didn't just they think they could just walk up to the Most High and just do anything. Hey, Most High was about his business. Luke 2:49, he was about his father's business, doing the
oh,
father's. Ain't nothing else. He's not coming to play.
oh,
And they mad at, like the brother said, they be mad at brothers be preaching loud, shaking the hand. Hey, Yahushua was doing the same thing. All the apostles was doing the same thing. All the prophets was doing the same thing. But Khan King, you got it.
yeah, Khan. No, yeah, Khan. That's right, Ak. That's right. Yeah, all praise to the Most High. Yeah, Khan. But yeah, on that, you know what I'm saying? Didn't really have too much else. I'm just double check my notes, see if I got anything else. Well, you know what I'm saying? You do have precepts like Ephesians 5. Actually, I'm gonna go to two more precepts on that. Real quick. Just want to show this for the sake of edification, right? This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 1. Ephesians 5 and 1, and it reads, be therefore followers of God as dear children. So what does it mean to follow God? Now we know that Christians, they say Christ is God. Okay. So and we say that Christ is God too. We don't say he's the most high, but he's not, he is a God, nevertheless. He's still our God, right? Just as Thomas said to Yahweh, my Lord and my God. Is he going off for saying that? Nah. Christ is our God, right? Hey, just like how on a certain level too, a woman, right, and her husband, that's her Lord. People are offended by that. People are clicking out right now. People are damn, oh, you damn misogynist.
Yes.
Hey, hey, they're gonna try to cancel us, man. You know what I'm saying? But you can't cancel this truth, man. You can't cancel this truth. You can try to cancel it all the time. You can try to delete it. You can try to backspace. You can try to cancel it all you want. It's the truth gonna come out, man. It's gonna come out. But according to the precepts, that's why Sarah called Abraham Lord, because that's her Lord. That's her God, not in the sense that she worshiping him, but she pays him reverence. You see that? Even when you go to the book of Exodus, I believe 7 and 1 on down, if not 9 on down, right?
Uh,
1 on down. You said what?
yeah, Moses. You talking about Moses?
Yeah, Con. Was it 7 and 1 on down?
I believe so.
Uh, I make thee a god unto Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it says, this is Exodus 7:1. It says, and the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
Con. All praise the water. So exactly, Moses was a god unto Pharaoh. What does that mean? Pharaoh started worshiping Moses. No, Moses, he was in a higher position. You see that? The Most I put Moses in a higher position over it. Pharaoh. Okay, so that's just what that means. All right, God means power. So when we go to this word, Salakia, go to this word means followers, right? Followers of the Most High, right? Followers of Christ. Oh man, an imitator. You see that? An
Mm,
imitator. So if you imitating somebody, monkey see, monkey do, right?
yeah,
Monkey see, monkey do. So you see Yahawah. If you saw Yahawah walking upon the earth, he was teaching. Now you gotta teach, right? And he was loving his brother. Now you gotta love your brother. He was loving his sisters. Now you gotta love your sisters. He was healing the sick. Now we gotta heal the sick on a spiritual level. He was giving clothes to the naked. Now we gotta do that too on a spiritual level, and on a physical if we got the chance, right? These things that we do. Yahweh Shah says, listen to the Pharisees who listening to the Pharisees, meaning to keep the law. These things we actually try to do, right, through the Spirit. We're imitating him, you know. So that's what that word literally means, and that's why Christians, you can't read it just like you just skip all over this, you know. Um, and also just the other precept too. Just want to bring out the fact that yes, Yahweh Shah did say, um, he said this about in terms of marriage, right? When we go to Mark chapter 10 and verse 5, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. Again, the Most High didn't make them male and male. He said male and female, right? Because you have a religious sect called Gay for Jesus. No. Gay for Jesus, right? I believe that's what it's called,
don't
right?
burn my eyes out. Don't burn my eyes.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna click on the images, but that's you can yeah, you can look it up for yourself, right? You can look it up for yourself. It is a Sabbath. This is a holy day. All right.
Ah,
I'm not trying to see that, but yeah, con. But it says, "For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh." So it says cleave to his wife. It didn't say cleave to his wife or husband. Don't really matter. No,
mm,
because you have something called that progressive Christianity, man.
that's off.
Uh, damn, damn,
They
progressive
just
Christianity.
they trying to go with the times.
Yeah, trying to go with the times.
Hey, that's here, but they got that church by the lake. Hey, they got the pride flag too, right in front of them.
mm, yeah, Con, that's right, brother. Con. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but that's something that's actually real. Like you got gay pastors and all this other stuff. Like it's madness. So Christ didn't say for you to do that. He said, "Look, father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh." So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. Talking about male and female. He didn't say male and male, or male and non-binary, or whatever gender you want to be. No, he didn't say that, right?
Uh,
Yeah. So it's madness, man. It's
uh,
madness, right?
hey,
You got anything else on that?
that kind of hey, just hey, like Revelations. I brung it out already. Hey, stop changing the Bible for your own liking. You know,
Mm-hmm.
stop doing that. Hey, you're gonna come with a sword in this thing. You know,
All right.
I got Another precept like Yahawashi being serious about this is Mark a 9 and 31. It says, "For he taught his disciples and said unto them." Hey, so literally, Yahawashi is teaching. He was a teacher. He was a man of many great many talents. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"The Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And after that, he is killed. He shall rise the third day." That's one thing we could say a Christ. I mean, for Christians, New Age Christians, and us as Hebrew Israelites, hey, we believe that. And he rose on the third day. We all believe that. He says, verse 32. He says, "But they understood not that saying, and were afraid to ask him." They were literally afraid to ask Yahusha, "Hey, what you mean by that?"
Right.
Hey, So if sometimes, hey, we on the highways and byways, and hey, and you can't come and kind of talk to us, and we like, nah, shutting that down, and you got a
Mm-hmm.
question, hey, we kind of gonna probably, hey, cast you off in this thing. Hey, man, hey, don't, hey, we got to be austere too. We got to make our heads hard against theirs,
That's
because a
right.
lot of people, they doctrine supersedes, hey, thus saith the Lord. And that, us being or trying to be servants of the Most High, hey, we can't never let that thing happen. Hey, we will defend the gospel to death. You know,
Mm.
we would do it if
Mm.
bullets coming after. You know, hey, we gonna be doing it if we getting hauled in jail. Because last time I checked, hey, all the apostles, hey, got beheaded or killed,
Mm-hmm.
hung, hey, got put into jail, got beat by prisoners. Hey, Yahushua got beat. You know, he got uh, uh, scourge. So we got to take up that same token as well. You
Yeah.
know, so that's another thing. Also being a follower of Christ, we got to be ready to carry that cross. Let me let
Mm.
me get let me get that. Let's get that real quick. Matthew 20 and 21, because all this is not peaches and cream either. So if you're really out here living thus at the Lord, hey, this world is gonna hate you. You know,
That's right.
this is Matthew 20 and 21. He says, "And he said unto her, What wilt thou?" She said unto him, Grant that these my two sons may see, the one on thy right hand, and the other on the left in the kingdom. But Yahweh shall answer and said, Ye not know what ye ask. He telling her, the mom, like, hey, you don't know what you asking for. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They
Uh,
say to him, We are able. Hey, they like, hey, Christ, like, hey, are you willing? You ready to deal with I'm going through? Hey, being a pilgrim on the earth, hey, not having a place to stay. I'm always on the run. People trying to kill me. I'm most wanted, most hated. Hey, how the Most High, when he was walking in the days, was most hated, and now all of a sudden in 2022 everybody love him.
mm.
No, that doesn't make sense. It says they continue reading. They said, they say unto him, We are able, and he said unto them, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand, left, is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. So hey, that's also a cut of the Trinity as well. Hey, his Father is gonna give the seed, but
Yeah, that's a
ultimately,
good preset.
yeah, so yeah, kind of. So ultimately, hey, we gotta be ready to carry that cross. Go, be ready to go through the same things a Mashiach went through the Spirit. You know,
Yep.
but Khan, you got a king.
Khan. That's right. That's right, man. All praise to the Most High. So yeah, with that, I didn't really have much else on that through the spirit. At this time, we can bring our closing precept. So if you got a closing precept, you can bring it out.
Uh,
Uh,
you want to go first or go?
you got it if you got it. You got yours.
Con.
Uh,
This is St. John chapter 15. Hey, St. John chapter 15, verse 18 reads, uh, if the world if if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. This for the Christians. If ye were of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. So, you can't be the most beloved, a the most beloved religion on the top of the earth, and you think the most high dealing with you. Hey, because he's not. Sorry to say, hey, not sorry. He's not dealing with you. You know. So if you loved in this world, hey, Creflo Dollar, TD Jakes, hey, Joe Osteen, hey, y'all, hey, the Most High not dealing with you. This is Colossians chapter 1 verse 25, whereof I am made a minister according to the dispensation of Yahawah, which is given to me for you, to fulfill the word of Yahawah. So this what it's all about. It's an hour, almost 2 hours is what we've been doing. Even the mystery which had been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints, to whom Yahweh will make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is a Mashiach in you, the hope of glory, whom we preach, warning every man. So we warned everybody not to follow the ways of Christianity. Hey, it showed that the New Age Christians ain't they not the way. That's what the
mhm.
whole video is about. Whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, and going through the precepts, that we may present every man perfect in a Mashiach Yahushai. Whereunto I also labor, striving according to his work, which worketh worketh in me mightily. Come.
Uh, that's right. That's right. And that's a mighty precept. Mighty precepts you bringing out. Con. All
Come.
praises, man. I'm gonna bring out this precept to end it off. It's a book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 17, and it reads, "Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning." So, what's it? We don't do all the studying. Okay, we don't watch all these debates. We don't do these debates. We don't go into these precepts just for ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Or just to look smart. We do it for those that seek learning. You know what I'm saying? We do it for those that want to contend for the faith. Brothers got to know how to contend for the faith. I ran into some Mormons earlier today. I couldn't even contend with them because they didn't have enough knowledge of the scripture to even contend nothing with. Literally, man. They kept saying, ask God, ask God, ask God. Well, you don't have the answers, is what you're saying, right?
Man,
Yeah. I literally said, why does God? So you saying God loves everybody? He said, God loves everybody, this and the third. So I'm like, so why does he hate Esau? I ran to the scripture, Romans 9-13, went to Malachi chapter 1, told him this really literally talking about not his actions, the actual nation of Esau. Said, why is that? How do you conflate those two scriptures together? And he's like, you know what? I don't know.
man.
So you just admitted that you don't know. I brought him preachers like First Peter 3:15. You got to have the answer to everything. He's like, yeah, I have answers. You don't have the answers, bro. You ain't got the answers. You
Right.
know? He's
You
like, my
just
answer. Oh, he said what?
I said, and you just lied, say you got the answers, but then 10 seconds ago you said you didn't know what that means.
Exactly. So you don't have the answers. His answer was, I want you to pray and ask God and also read the Book of Mormon. So that's not going to answer my question, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, doesn't God also speak through his prophets and his more it's like his missionaries?
Oh my
Right.
god,
But
man.
yeah, man. So you said what?
That's it, madness, man.
Yeah, come on, it's just madness, man. So, Lord willing, all brothers, all right, all sisters are waxing mightier through the spirit. And most I willing, this video has been edifying. All right, unto the nation of Israel, all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Mashak, Malaki, YAHAWASHI. This brother Yasha Allah.
It's brother Sirach.
All right, come back to y'all yet another video for the spirit by Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Mashak, Malaki, YAHAWASHI. Shabbat Shalom to the 12. Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Uh,
Uh.